Greetings, everyone. What a day, huh? The big man himself, Bob Iger, surprisingly, out of the blue, resigned his position as CEO of Disney, naming his successor in the process. And we, of course, are going to be talking about that, like everyone else. And joining me to do that is the core team. Rob, how's it going?
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much.
And of course, Tom, how's it going?
It's going. Some amazing news dropped here, and maybe we'll have some more guests join us. Who knows?
Who knows? You never know who'll show up. So yeah, the news are then that Bob Iger surprisingly resigned, effective immediate. Narrator Supreme, will you take us through the story?
Yeah, this actually comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. Disney picks Bob Chapek as next CEO. Bob Iger is assuming the role of executive chairman and will lead the board through his contracts end on December 31st, 2021. It's the end of an era at the Walt Disney Company. In a seismic move, the conglomerate said on Tuesday that it is naming Bob Chapek as its next CEO, succeeding Bob Iger immediately. Iger is assuming the role of executive chairman and will lead the board through his end of his contract on December 31st, 2021. We covered that. Chapek, who has been with the company since 1993, has been named chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products since 2018. His new contract began on February 24th and ends on February 28th, 2023, with his annual base salary increasing to $2.5 million. Chapek, who will become Disney's seventh CEO, will report to Iger and the board of directors. On a call with Wall Street analysts Tuesday, Iger said that the Disney board had identified Chapek as his potential successor quite some time ago. Iger added that the succession plan was not accelerated for any particular reason other than we thought the need was now to make the change. Since Iger took over as CEO of the Disney company in 2005, he has presided over a period of dramatic expansion for the company, leading buys of Pixar for $7.4 billion, Marvel for $4 billion, and Lucasfilm for $4 billion. That strategy, a focus on acquiring franchise intellectual property, paid off. In 2019 alone, Disney films grossed an unprecedented $13 billion at the global box office, including 7 blockbusters that hit the $1 billion mark. Disney's market cap was roughly $55 billion when Iger took over in 2005, peaked at over $260 billion in January, and as of February 25th, sits at $231 billion. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to assume the role of CEO of what I truly believe is the greatest company in the world, and to lead our exceptionally talented and dedicated cast members and employees. Chapek said, Bob Iger has built Disney into the most admired and successful media entertainment company, and I have been lucky to enjoy a front row seat as a member of its leadership team. Excuse me. And yes, I'm all verklempt. Bob meant so much to me. And in March 2019, Iger presided over the closing of Disney's biggest acquisition, $71.3 billion mega deal for Rupert Murdoch's Fox assets, including the historic 20th Century Fox Studio, Fox Searchlight, Fox FX Networks, National Geographic. Months later, Disney assumed full operational control over the streamer Hulu. Iger's compensation package was $47.5 million for the fiscal year of 2019, falling from $65.6 million in 2018. The company has gotten larger and more complex in the recent 12 months, Iger told analysts on the call Tuesday.
Blah, blah,
blah. Nobody cares in your famous words.
Exactly. We've got a very special guest joining us to talk about all of this. Welcome, Critical Drinker.
Oh, good to be on. Thanks for inviting me in.
Critical Drinker, welcome.
It is an honor as always.
Yes, Critical Drinker's here.
Yes.
You might need to forgive me because I literally just heard about this when Tom sent me a message, so I've got no idea what's going on or anything.
Well, this is official. This is official because I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, is this true? This is nonsense. This is just made up. No, Bob Iger has stepped down as CEO of Disney. Bob Chapek will take over as CEO. Bob will be sticking around through the end of next year as a creative officer. Is that what it is?
Yeah, like chief creative officer or something, some BS title. Either.
Yeah. Okay, I can tell you exactly why that is. I don't know how much you follow Russian politics, but remember for a while there when Putin stepped back as president and he went down to the position of prime minister, while you then had like this other guy, Medvedev, however you pronounce it. Yeah, exactly.
Medvedev.
That you had him instead as the president.
Mm-hmm.
There was no doubt who was the real power there. So what this is basically that this new guy is being trained, he's being groomed, while Iger is still there to look after things.
And we have another special guest with us.
Fantastic guest. Welcome, Jeremy.
Full house tonight, man.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, wow.
Hello. Nice of you to invite me. I appreciate that. There's not a lot going on, so I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's just another Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, or Tico Tuesday for those who are inclined to.
Taco Tuesday. I don't have my Mexican Iron Man music up. So darn it. So.
Yeah, but hello, everyone. Nice of you to allow me here. So good to be with all of you. So
It's an honor to have you here. So welcome to the main channel. I believe for the first time.
I came on one other time,
before,
I believe.
yeah.
Yeah,
First time I was here, then at least.
Okay.
Or at the same time.
So, but yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
Long
Guys,
overdue.
what are your thoughts on this? Iger stepping down, or stepping up, or stepping to the side, or however you want to put it? Because he's not out; he's just stepped back a tiny little bit.
It's a lateral move, really. It's a lateral move. Nothing's going to really change for Disney, at least. My personal opinion, Iger wants to take a step back, and then he's going to test. He's going to send the feelers out. He's going to see how everything plays out, and then he's going to start putting together the machine to run for president in 2024.
Yeah, I think this is pre-planned. Yeah, I mean,
he's spoken about this before, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has. I mean, I made my video like literally when it happened. I didn't think about it. I just turned the camera on, wanted to get ahead of the algorithm. So it's doing well. But now that I've had about an hour to kind of process the information, it is, I agree. It's a lateral move. Chapek is going to continue to, basically Bob Iger has delayed his stepping down several times, and he's been waiting for the perfect person that he could step away that would continue to carry out his vision. So I don't see
he literally finds someone who looks like Dr. Evil to take over.
Yes. Yeah. So it is basically a literal move, a lateral move, and Chapek has not done the best of work in the theme parks division. I mean, Galaxy's Edge is his most recent, wonderful masterpiece he has provided. So now he's going to be on top of the Disney mountain now. So I'm not feeling it.
With the track record like running Galaxy's Edge, this should go swimmingly. Jeez,
I know.
No, I really think he was planning on going out on a higher note. I don't think he was planning on the Rise of Skywalker going the way it did.
I agree with that.
He does say in the one interview, he does say that the plan was initially not supposed to happen for like another year, but he felt now was the right time since Disney Plus was a success, and the typical PR BS.
Does this perhaps indicate that, I don't know, that he's aware of like bigger problems that he's trying to get ahead of and almost bail out before they become too well known?
I mean, it is sudden, as I said in my video. I mean, with how this whole thing has been, everything is planned out, and Disney is such a big, massive company and everything. For this just to be announced, effective immediately is not going to look good, regardless of the details to follow. Every headline is going to say Disney CEO Bob Iger steps down effective immediately. That is
I can tell you why they do that.
Okay, go for it.
Yes. The reason for this is, I believe, is given in Iger's book. Because he made it very, very clear in that book, which actually is very, very good, and I recommend it. Is basically that when he took over as CEO back in the day, that was a very long, very drawn out, very traumatic process that almost gave him a heart attack. And he was very clear that the most difficult time that he ever had at Disney was getting that job. because the problem was that his successor, or the guy before him, he had no plan of succession. So it was such a fight to get that role, to get that position. So what he did here, he learned from the mistakes of what happened before, and this time they just dropped it. There's no speculation, there's no time to build any anticipation, anything like that. This obviously has been in the work for a long, long time, and then they announce it, bam! And then it's going to be like a short-term fall in share prices, but it's not going to be a prolonged fall like it was the last time. Then they're going to adapt to it really quickly, the markets, because he's still there, and he's going to train the new guy. So you're going to have like this period of training Chapik, or whatever his name was. So this is really clever, and it's done in response to how dysfunctional it was the last time. That's what the story is going to be, I think.
That makes sense.
I can imagine though the Iger must be. I would like to think that Iger's singing in his Malibu home, as finally saying, having a drink, saying, "Oh, finally, I don't have to be the one to fire Kathy."
At least he doesn't have to work with her anymore either. So,
well, I was going to say, should we address the elephant in the room? There's a lot of people who wonder if this is going to be something that's going to be a ripple effect through the company. Now we of course know that Kathy's a little bit more protected per se than others. I guess you could probably figure with her connection to Lucasfilm, and I'm sure there's lots of clauses put in that.
Yeah, she's like the most untouchable. Really, under.
I mean, we can't say that for sure.
She was.
I mean, allegedly, yes.
Publicly, she is. I mean, I think based on all the rumors that have been swirling around behind the scenes, like she's been largely removed from power already within Lucasfilm.
Yeah, well, we know this. So, yeah, she may not be going anywhere anytime soon, but behind the scenes, I severely question how much power she has left, that she's there for show.
Well, I can picture. Yeah, I can. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, go ahead. I'm a new guy here.
No, it's you're. Come on. New
You're
guy.
the distinguished guest, and we want to hear what you have to say.
I'm the established idiot. I mean, that's what I always say. But I can imagine there's going to be a scenario where Chapik they sit down to a meeting and listen, Kathy. I know Bob was a big proponent of you, but. And he liked what you did, but quite frankly, I don't. Or I could easily see a scenario like that playing out. And
it does. No, I was just going to say there. I'll let you go on in a second. It does give them a pretty good excuse for making a reshuffle amongst their senior executives. Well, just to say, well, I am the new guy. I want a new team working under me, and it's nothing personal. But I think I've got a new vision, and you're not part of it. Basically, good luck. Bye.
Andre, you read Bob Iger's book. I read Pat Riley's book a number of years ago. And sports do reflect business. I mean, it's a different medium, but the dynamic is the same. Usually when somebody new comes in, Drinker is right. They clean house. They want their own team in there. You hire a new coach. He's not going to have the same assistants and trainers and coordinators all around him. He's going to bring his own people in.
Well, since this is early, do you think this was more sudden? Do you think this was more of a, nope, we've had enough of this BS, and he didn't have much of a choice in this matter, and he's just been basically demoted himself to a job so he could stick around for a while? Or what do you guys think the situation is? Jeremy, let's start with you.
Well, my speculation on Kathleen Kennedy, and it's falling right in line with what you guys have been saying, and I don't have any insider information. You guys probably have more information in that department than me.
Not at this time.
Okay, so well, just my speculation on how I've seen Kathleen Kennedy behave as the leader of Lucasfilm before The Last Jedi, and then after The Last Jedi. She was out in front. She was talking about everything before The Last Jedi. She was doing interviews. She was promoting every film, and then after The Last Jedi came out, she pretty much went silent. Very rarely did we see her, and in my opinion, I feel like what Andre was saying, I've been speculating, is saying she is not really in power behind the scenes, but they want to. I believe what they've made some type of agreement with her to say, hey, look, we want to send you out on a high note, but so publicly you're still going to be the president CEO, but behind the scenes we're going to be doing a lot of these other things, and send her off into the sunset on a good, on a good tone. If they can turn things around, she still gets credit for it, even though she's not doing anything, because publicly, from a PR standpoint, you can't fire a woman with all the virtue signaling they've been doing. You can't fire a woman like her. So that's how I see it. So I feel like all of that would still be in place if that's what is happening. Now, again, I'm just saying that's my guess, my educated guess. I have nothing to tie that to. All I'm doing is basing it on what I've seen and how her behavior has changed from before The Last Jedi to after The Last Jedi.
Besides, she still has Indiana Jones left to ruin.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, gosh. This woman, she's like a disease. Oh, she just
if she's going on a high note, this High Republic thing is not the way to do it.
When I hear High Republic, I think the Cheech and Chong are making a Star Wars movie.
Hey man, watch where you point that thing.
Hey, where's the button?
That was that really didn't land well, and maybe and I don't necessarily believe this, but. And because this could be just me speaking within my bubble, but that High Republic announcement was a disaster yesterday. But maybe that's just our bubble. You know what I mean? But I don't
got a big bunch of I could give a crap.
It's so counterintuitive as well, putting this amount of work to try and recreate what already existed in the expanded universe.
Yes,
it's just crazy. Like trying to make their own crappy, watered down version of it.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
And like Ryan Kennel said last night on Geeks and Gamers, talking about how if this is going to be 200 years before the sequel trilogy was set, right? So that means we go back to the original trilogy, and there's no mention of any of that, like this massive era that's never mentioned, and it's just continuity wise, it's all messed up. So, but to me, a news story like this breaking so suddenly, and there's Ryan right there.
I'm just gonna say, speaking of Ryan, he's in the chats, and so is Mecca and a bunch of our friends. So let's say hello.
Hello everyone. So a news story like this, I always wonder, what is this trying to deflect us from? Is something else going to happen, or are they?
That's
trying
a very good question.
Yeah, are they trying to take us? Yeah, are they trying to take our attention off of something else?
I was going to bring that up, but I wanted to get Critical's take on the other part first. But let's go there real quick, then. Yeah.
There's one thing that surprises me with this, because I am not at all surprised that this comes so suddenly like this. That is completely consistent with what you would expect from Iger, given the previous time this happened, when he was the one that got the assignment, basically. What surprises me is that this is done on a Tuesday and not on a Friday, because if they really wanted to dampen the impact on the stock markets, they should have done this on a Friday. That's when news like this usually are dropped.
Not only that, how close are we to the quarter ending, Andre? I know you know more about that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I don't think that has too much to do with this.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
That leads me to think something else is going to happen later in the week. They have another huge announcement.
Well, there's also been a huge sell-off on Wall Street too. I mean, maybe they wanted to get this out there before anything else happens.
I don't know. I go more with. I mean, obviously, it's possible. But I go. I think Andre's more
think so.
right.
I think that they have something else lined up for later in the week. That they have like things that are going to send markets tumbling down a little bit, and then they have something later that they hope is going to send them back up again.
Yeah, I mean, I do think a lot of the speculation out there is something wrong. Is Bob Iger getting fired, or was he forced into this? I do not believe.
No, he's not fired.
I absolutely do not believe that one bit. And the other speculation is maybe it's a Me Too situation. Again, I don't think that either. No. It's wishful thinking, but I don't think that that's reality. I think that Bob Iger is 100% in control of all of this. And again, when I made my initial response, it was literally when news was breaking. I didn't have time to process anything, and I didn't make any blanket statements. Just kind of was like, what's going on? But now that I've had time to process it, Bob Chapek, Bob Iger is 100% in control of this decision. It's being done on his terms, 100% his terms. So I don't think that anybody is going to have any valid argument against that. So everybody needs to, unless there's something that we're missing right now, based on everything we know and everything we've seen, Bob Iger is 100% in control of this decision.
Agreed.
Yeah.
He's in complete control of this. He's the one who's orchestrated this.
Well,
And
this
anyone
is-
thinking that he got fired, no. Disney could not be happier with Bob Iger.
No, this is perfectly timed for him to bow out in 2021, like he said. But I think he's seriously gearing up for a presidential run. That's what he wants the extra room for. Unless he's taking the fall for a lot of the shit that's... I don't know. They had a record year, though, so I don't see that. Critical Drinker, I'm dying to hear your take on this, since you've been so quiet here. We've been bouncing around so much. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, I guess I've had less kind of experience with the politics of these big studios than you guys have. So I'm just kind of coming up to speed with the whole announcement. So any kind of take that I have on it is just totally off the cuff. I am inclined to kind of agree with your assessment that this wasn't something that he was forced into. This is something that he's planned. This is something that he's made the decision on, and he's following a plan of some kind. What his ultimate, intention is, it's complete speculation at this point. I really couldn't say. I do think I am interested in the fact that it's come out so suddenly. But like you say, there is most likely a valid reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, Bob Iger's a smart guy. We can disagree with a lot of his decisions if we like, which is fine. Bob Iger is a very smart and calculated dude. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't do anything by accident. He's powerful. He's smart, and he probably is thinking multiple steps ahead. So, and he's had long aspirations there's been rumors about his aspirations to run for president. So I believe that is potentially tied to this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But I don't think that there's no negative side of this that's going to affect Bob Iger. I think this is all positive. If anything, Bob might be getting out before it could have affected him negatively, and that might be one of the things that we learn later on is like, man, there's a lot of bad things that could happen at Disney, and Bob's removing himself from it. Bob Iger.
There's a lot of people who brought up like the SEC thing. It's like, well, him quitting is not going to save him from any legal repercussions if there is any. If he's found to be at, if the paper trail leads back to him in any way or anything like that, if there is any violation. So I don't think that's the issue. I think what we're really getting to here is I think this is really him setting himself up to have the time, and I think he's seriously considering that run. Because I don't see any reason to do this earlier than planned, unless Jeremy's right that there's something bad that's going to happen on the horizon here we don't know about.
And what I mean by bad is I'm kind of speculating into like with Star Wars and how
exactly.
It clearly didn't. This is not ending how he wanted it to with the Rise of Skywalker. I'm sure he would have loved to have been an in-game type of box office for the Rise of Skywalker. That clearly didn't work out. Disney Plus has launched. It's definitely not a flop by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that they're in any position to be a Netflix competitor per se. I'm sure it's doing well, but Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge has not done well. I think if anything, his best time, the best time he could have ended was when Endgame made $2.8 billion. Walk away at that point. But either way, when I say something bad happens, I'm just mainly saying how a lot of the things that he wanted to be in better position, like Star Wars and the theme park side, really aren't where he would like them to be. But right now, he's not getting a ton of resistance in the big scheme of things. Like, yes, in our little world, we're all over Bob Iger and giving him grief and criticism. But if you look at the mainstream, nobody's going after Bob Iger.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They won't be either.
He's coming on. Yeah,
Right.
Take Star Wars out of the equation. Disney is still coming off the biggest year they've ever had, and I think they've grossed more than any other company has in the history at this year.
You know what? You don't even have to take Star Wars out of the equation. All you have to do is look at the value and size of Disney when he took over.
That's what.
Compared to where Disney is now when he hands the keys of the kingdom to someone else.
Yeah.
Iger, no matter what we may feel about him here in our little circles, he has done a tremendous job for Disney.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get
For
to.
Disney, he's been incredible, and no one is going to have anything bad to say about him there, because the job that he has done, very, very few could have done.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is Lucasfilm aside, every accomplishment he's had has been so immense. Like even if you just hung up the Marvel universe alone on that. But anyway, you were going to say something, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say, I mean, I've followed Bob Iger. You know, I mean, we go back to even Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner literally saved the Walt Disney Company. You know, I don't want to get into all that, but he literally saved it, but he ended on terrible terms.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific terms. And I don't think
almost undone everything he did to that company. That was the problem.
Exactly. And trust me, Bob Iger was the second in command when all that was going on. Yes. You know, so Bob Iger watched the rise and the fall of Michael Eisner. He absolutely did. And with Iger being as smart and calculated as he is, he's getting out when the time is right for him. But he's also smart enough to realize that this could all fall apart for him very quickly, which is exactly what happened to Eisner. And again, you go through midway through Eisner's run, and if you would have told someone like Eisner is going to collapse and he's going to be literally ran out of town, nobody would have believed you, because he saved Disney. Well, boom, it happened. And who was the man that witnessed that right in front of him was right behind Eisner? It was Bob Iger. He witnessed this happen. So he's getting out when it works best for him. And as smart as he is and as accomplished as he is, I think that there could be something in the future that he looks at that says, okay, this could potentially affect me negatively, because if he had the ending that Eisner had, that he wouldn't be able to do anything else in terms of on a big scale. His credibility would be shot. Yeah. So.
On that note, I think this might also be something that he hinted at in his book.
Yes, I was going to say he laid the groundwork.
Yeah, there is a time to leave, because that's also something that he learned, that everyone can have a great run, but at some point, that run is going to come to an end. And when it does, you better already be gone. And I think that maybe he is now at the point where he sees that, I'm just guessing here, but maybe he's like, I'm out of ideas. I don't know how to solve this. We're going to need some new blood.
No, I think Jeremy is right. I think he brought it up. Endgame was his Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He sees that it's time to get out is now.
Yeah, when you look at what Marvel's got coming up in Phase 4, there's really nothing to get particularly excited about. There's no new Infinity Saga. Yeah, Star Wars hasn't really got much traction left.
No. Yeah, you want to go out on top. That's what it is.
But he couldn't go out at Endgame, because by that point, Disney Plus, which was another really important thing for him, had not yet launched. He couldn't leave before that was out and ideally a success. And he's still not completely out of it. Like, he's still going to be there to protect his legacy and help the new guy a little bit. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I think Drinker just makes a great point. It's something we were all aware of it, but it hadn't been made yet. But like, yeah, there's nothing for the rest of this year is big for Disney in terms of, I mean, yeah, they're going to have properties they're going to make, but there's no, like, we don't have what do we have this year that's going to, set the box office on fire?
From Disney? Well, they're hoping Black Widow, and then they're hoping Eternals. And other than that, I don't.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what those are
this year.
Yeah, Mulan. You've got the one of the few Disney animated films that I think practically flopped in that era. You have Black Widow, a movie that should have been out between Infinity War and Endgame, at least, if not before. And then you have another Marvel movie that's probably going to be Marvel's first biggest disappointment, because nobody gives two shits. And it doesn't have the appeal that Guardians of the Galaxy did. They don't have a talking raccoon in a tree.
You're right.
Oh, but they do have some trans people or something.
And nobody gives a crap.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
100 people on Twitter will be going nuts over it.
Yeah, and they have the first gay kiss or something like that in a Marvel.
And all the people who are going to care, like you guys just said, the Twitterati are not going to go buy tickets.
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
I'm the only person probably on the panel who had heard of the Eternals before they announced the movie, and even I don't give a crap.
I mean, this is a pretty down year in terms of tentpole films and properties right now, and I do think right now is probably the best time for him to step away, and then that gives Chapek the honeymoon phase to go. Okay, well, we don't have a lot going on, but Chapek just took over, so we need to give him a few years to get the ball rolling. Yada yada yada. And plus, you look at like the next phase of Marvel. We don't have Robert Downey Jr. We don't have Chris Evans. You know, you don't have those two marquee guys that made it, you know, so universally appealing to so many people. So we are at a reset mode for a lot of things. You've got the end of I hate fucking saying this, but the end of the Skywalker saga. I hate that whole term, but that's how they've presented it. You've got, you know, Marvel ending, you know, for all practical purposes, ending their cinematic universe, and they're going to have to restart. You know, the Fox acquisition, that's kind of restarting. So now with the close of everything that Iger has created and all of the things that he has purchased, all of those are coming to a close and they're getting ready to reboot. It's a perfect time for him to step away and let this guy take over and, you know, kind of have that honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Like I said, it allows, it gives Chapek or Chapek, whatever hell. And
Chapek, I think is how. Yeah, I think it's or Megamind. Megamind.
Yes. Destro, whatever you want to call him. Whatever. It gives him cover. It gives him plenty of cover, is what it is. He has a built-in excuse. Well, you know, I'm coming in during a transitional period. Yeah, as we all said. Yeah. But I noticed though last night on Twitter when they announced this High Republic nonsense that they said, "Oh, all credit goes to Kathleen Kennedy for making this possible." I'm like, really? You're gonna die on that hill, really?
I'm pretty sure she was responsible for that brainstorming board.
Oh yeah, dinosaurs.
Yeah, not pro-war.
So
Pro-war.
bad.
It has war in the title.
I saw that last night.
She
Jeremy
was behind the dinosaurs thing because like,
I saw the dinosaurs. I'm like,
Park
is that really saying dinosaurs? And then you said it, and I'm like, yep, that fucking says dinosaurs.
I've got
definitely
some advice.
behind the diversity and representation part of it for sure.
Diversity's on there twice.
Yeah,
twice. I've got some advice for Chapek. All right. Now, I have never been to prison, but I've always heard the rumor if you go to prison, you got to go and fight the biggest person there day one. Just knock him out and set the tone. So Chapek, fire Kathleen Kennedy, set a fucking tone. Let everybody know I'm here to change the game, baby. Fire her. The entire fan base will be on your side. And we will all be, making, praise.
That is so true.
Just do it. Just fire her.
That.
I wish you were on video for that. I wish you were on video for that. I would have made you full screen so everybody could have cut that out and put it out on Twitter.
You know what? We can do that. We can do that.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Let's do that.
There you go.
Well, Jeremy,
huh?
The floor is yours.
Okay. So, hi everyone, it's Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Go subscribe to our channel. All right, so you know the whole analogy. Now, I've never been to prison. I know I look like I'm a rough, tough guy, but I've never been to prison. But the word is, you go to prison day one, you go find the biggest guy, and you punch that mofo out. All right, so Bob Chapek, you are now the new CEO of Disney. So what do you need to do? You need to fire Kathleen Kennedy on day one. Set a tone for the fans. Let them know you are here for the people. You are here to save Star Wars. Just knock her out of the picture. We're all going to praise you. We will all give you as much time as you need to reset the clock. Fire Kathleen Kennedy day one. Bob Chapek, you will have my support. Make Star Wars great again. Thank you.
Perfect. That was
beautiful.
That was beautiful. That was gorgeous.
There's a round of applause.
And while you're at it, Bob, give us a Howard the Duck movie. That's all we want.
I'm verklempt now over this. It's beautiful.
Oh man,
Jeremy. Though I think we have an answer.
No, that was great.
I think we have an answer though to one important question. We can look at this High Republic thing, and now we know what that idiotic story group has been doing the last 4 years.
Getting high.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can
On their own thoughts.
Oh man,
you can only be high on your own farts to come up with something like dinosaurs.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
What is Star Wars missing? I don't know. Dinosaurs.
It's honestly like if you just went into an office filled with people who'd never seen Star Wars in their lives and just like, give us some ideas, guys, and that's what they give you. Dinosaurs? Yeah, whatever.
We were reacting to that last night, and I'm still astonished at that whiteboard. That was really bad. And how bigoted is it? Why does it have to be a whiteboard, Lucasfilm? Why can't it be a blackboard? Are you racist? Come on, Lucasfilm. I'm just, I'm a little upset. I'm a little triggered, and I didn't see a trans board up there. I didn't see a trans board. With never mind. I don't know how detailed you want me to go with my sarcasm. So I'll hold on.
Oh, keep going. We don't.
They needed some kind of rainbow-colored board, I think. With everything represented.
Sarcasm away.
Sometimes I go too far, but even last night, me and Ryan were making jokes. I had to text him. I said, "All right, a couple of those are too far."
But you notice another entry was actual ending.
Yeah.
You people are professional writers, and you put actual ending up there.
That's in response to, maybe we should have figured out how to end this thing before we started it last time. That's good. Put that on the board.
Did they also have actual beginning and actual middle written there?
Oh shit! Right? 3 acts. Wow, there's 3 acts to a story. Who'd have thunk it?
Texas, we want them to be like the Texas Rangers. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh man, what a disaster.
It is. I mean, go ahead, Rob.
I'm saying, who'd have thought? I feel like we're the 4 Yorkshiremen sketch now, Monty Python. Who'd ever thought we'd be sitting here all this time later, laughing at how bad Star Wars has become? Just.
Yeah, if you've got that picture handy, Jeremy, feel free to share it. I don't have it on me, so.
Which one?
The one with the board, so people know what we're actually talking about. If you do, I don't.
Give me just a second.
Yeah, because I saw this too last night. Like I said, and I saw the dinosaur segment. I'm like, that does not say dinosaurs. And then you panned away from or whatever, and then when you guys got to the thing, I'm like, it does say dinosaurs. And even better yet, like Ryan said, they didn't even know how to spell the damn thing.
Yeah. Here it is, right here.
All right, cool.
Share. Boom.
Because I know Andre hasn't seen this yet. He was sleeping when that was going on.
Look at that beauty right there.
This was in the video.
Special.
This is something that you guys caught in that video, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Feelings.
Whoa, feelings.
How basic can you get here? Like words, things.
No, I actually did see this.
Dinosaurs?
You did see this?
Dinosaurs?
Yeah, no, I saw it on my way back from work today. Hey, Mecca.
Hey, Mecca.
No, I watched the video on the bus returning from work today and was like, "Holy hell! Is that what we're looking at here? It's unbelievable."
Complicated monsters? Am I reading that right?
Complicated
the bar beneath
monsters.
it is kind of in the way, but yeah.
Complicated monsters.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And look at this. Look at it has on Star Wars wishes. If you go 2 below where it says representation and diversity, it's underlined. It says rival houses.
Oh,
what does that sound? It's Game of Thrones. Are you going Game of Thrones on us?
And then just surprise.
Yeah.
Well, we had a big surprise. It was called Last Jedi.
That could go anywhere.
But the worst part is not pro-war. Not pro-war.
Yeah.
What can we change
just looking
the name to?
I was looking at relatable characters as well. They really have learned something from the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
We need relatable characters this time around.
Sith Empire. Yeah, okay.
But did you know? But this hero's journey is nowhere on that list.
I love no single main character. You know why that is, right?
Yeah.
Hashtag Solo lost money.
And there's no character development on there.
That's another big problem.
They have relatable characters, and we all know what that means. That means representation. So,
the Force is way down at the bottom of the list, but at least it's higher than complicated monsters.
Yeah.
Space and lightsaber battles. Was it Relic Hunters?
Yeah.
Relic Hunters University. So they're going to be going. So it's Star Wars. It's the college years now. It's going to be. It's going to be. This is going to be the. Gentlemen, I have an idea. We're going to make this the Van Wilder of Star Wars movies.
I think you're taking that the
Can
wrong
we
way.
Scrubs Med School of Star
I think
Wars?
it's more like university, like versatility, like
Like almost they were trying to say
representation.
universality.
I'm not gonna
I think it's another way of putting representation and diversity on there without putting representation or diversity on there for the fifth time.
So we're not going to see it. We're not going to have a toga party with Otis Day and the Jedi Knights.
Well,
I'd watch that.
you know,
would
you
be
might
Better
be
than what they're
one.
giving us.
That would be
It's so depressing to see where Star Wars is at.
Oh, good God, Gertie.
this is hysterically bad. I can't stop.
No, Bob Iger took one look at this board and he said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." And then he
I'm
dropped
done.
his shit today. He's like, "I'm done."
Said I'm done. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to bounce because I wanted to pop on for a bit.
Oh,
though,
well,
and,
thank you so much for stopping by, Jeremy. We appreciate it.
So,
Thanks for
I really,
joining.
Yeah, I appreciate all of you having me on. Drinker, good to talk to you again. Mecca, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Likewise, man.
Yeah.
And so thank you all for having me on. I do appreciate it. And if you guys need, Tom, I tell you, send me links. You never know when I'll pop in. So just feel free.
Well,
to
like I said, I
continue.
don't bother you unless it's absolutely important. But otherwise, I send you links all the time. So
yes, absolutely. Well, you guys have a great day, and
Take care,
smash the melee button, everybody. That means like the video. Smash the melee button for the guys at Midnight's Edge and help get some more eyeballs in here. They're doing a great job. And thanks for having me. Talk to you guys later. Make Star Wars great again.
Hail Jeremy.
Hail Jeremy.
Later,
Hail
dude.
Jeremy.
So yeah, Mecca, we just brought you into the fold here. I don't know if you've had a chance to meet Critical Drinker yet, have you?
I believe so. I believe either we've been on.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, I sort of vaguely remember I was on a stream with you, I think through Geeks and Gamers.
Probably
Okay.
or High Council,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mecca, what's your take on this? I think it's similar to what we got, but go ahead.
Oh well, I agree that I think he's going to be running for president. I think this is hilarious. This is dropping the day after all of their new diversity agenda and space dinosaurs.
I don't think they meant for anybody to really see that part of it. I don't know if that was meant to really get out there like it did.
Probably not. Probably
thought-
not.
Yeah, maybe they thought it was going to be. People weren't going to be this harsh.
I don't think I've been harsh on it. I've been just kind of mocking it because I think it's kind of adorable that that's where their priorities are. You know, they're getting ready to make basically, this is the analogy I used on my stream earlier. They're basically getting ready to make, a giant pot of stew. This, they start off with, they're making chicken stew or Star Wars, for
You're
example.
being too nice. This is worse than when my third grade teacher said, "Okay, class, we're going to write a story." And she starts a checklist of things you need to do to write a story. At least that's more coherent than this. This
Yeah.
is just a bunch of random words thrown up on a board.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we don't have the context, but we're kind of getting what's going on here. These guys have no clue. They really don't understand Star Wars at all.
Well, the one screenshot, the screenshot you showed here, where they were saying fiction, is it? Are they saying that it's fiction? That this is all the myths. This is all the stuff that they think is wrong.
Elements. Elements. I think it's elements from what elements from like commonly you find in fiction, the elements we find in Star Wars, and what do we want to see in a Star Wars?
I think Rob's right. Critical thing. You were sounding like you were going to say something there.
Sorry.
No, I was just, I was going to say, I'm trying to picture what it must be like to be a writer working in that kind of environment, to basically have all this stuff mandated on you and being like, right, so I've got about 1% creative freedom to actually tell a story here. Everything else is going to be determined for me.
Well, we've
You know,
actually kind of had a little insight into that. I don't know if we're keeping up with Walter Mosley's situation in the Star Trek Discovery writers' room.
No, I wasn't. What happened in his case?
Well, he reiterated a situation that happened to him, and he happened to use a couple of derogatory terms when talking about the story, when encountering a cop and talking about Irish and black people in general. The cop used the stereotypical words we don't want to say. But anyway, he brought this up in the story group. Well, he got a call from HR, and it basically made him feel like he couldn't even talk and express himself in the writers group. And I think that's a really an insight into how this works now, is how stifled these writers are. And if you're anybody who is a decent writer like Walter Mosley, who is a veteran and been around and done things, you're going to notice right away that this isn't right. I can't work in this environment. You can't tell a story in this environment.
The exact thing was that he was called down into the HR for would you call it dressing down, Tom?
Yeah, to be clear, he quit.
He quit.
He didn't get, but he basically felt like there's no way he could work like that.
They said to him, Walter, we've received an HR complaint that you used the N-word in the writer's room. And he said, I am the N-word in the writer's room. And so he says, well, we appreciate you not using that word anymore. He goes, I'm just telling a story about the time that I got pulled over by a cop, and he used that word to describe me. And so they said, well, we appreciate that, Walter, but we can't have you using that kind of that language. We feel that we have an inclusive work environment. We appreciate you not bringing that sort of talk into our into this. And
somebody got their fee-fees and complained.
Yeah, somebody got their fee-fees. Yeah, and so he said, you know what? Screw you. I quit.
Good man. I mean, these are adults, right? Theoretically, these are adults who should be able to have adult conversations, and it's like they're in grammar school or something. Like,
we use the term theoretically very often.
I'm gonna tattle. Yeah. You said something I didn't like. I'm gonna tattle. Teacher.
I'm telling.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, being brought into the office to get a row for saying inappropriate things. Like, what the fuck?
And really, it's not inappropriate.
I don't blame him for quitting.
It's not like he was going around saying, hey, man, you my N-word, and, hey, B, do this for me, or anything like that. No, he was telling a story that happened to him. And this guy had been a part of the civil rights movement and all that other kind of... I mean, so this guy was just taken aback by it. He said, not only that, he didn't get a phone call from Kurtzman or Michelle Paradise or anybody else first talked to him about this, which he would have preferred. Been like, you know what? He'd have had no problem if they'd been like, there's some people who aren't comfortable with you saying that. Can you not do it? And he'd have had no problem.
They didn't have the balls. They didn't have the balls to confront him personally. They left it to HR. You know what? And I said, Drinker, I've seen your Star Trek videos. If that were TNG, or if that were any other environment, and Walter Mosley was telling that story, and Walter, hey, tell me that story. Walter, can we use this? Hey, okay, so what happened? All right, this makes, and then you start writing a story about a Cardassian or a Romulan or some kind, or an Andorian being harassed by the Federation, and how and you or another authority, and then you use it, but like, no, we can't have that kind of talk. Look out, I feel uncomfortable. Well, you know what? Too bad. You're gonna feel uncomfortable in different times in your life. That's just life, man.
Writers of all people should be able to go down that road as well.
That's what he was saying.
It's their job to explore uncomfortable topics, and if they can't even handle a word, like, what the fuck are they even doing in that job?
Oh, and he alluded to that in his op-ed, and he even had the decency not to even say the show.
Yeah.
That got leaked out.
Oh, yeah.
No, they were so childish about it. They said, "Nuh-uh, here's what really happened." So you're
and their story just basically backed his up.
But I mean, I can picture something similar like that happening in the Star Wars writers' room, or in this story group.
And that was my point. Is this has got to be like the story of every writer's room in Hollywood. And I can understand why some of these older guys are just like, screw this, and these kids nowadays, they got no clue what storytelling is, because everything happens. You can do what you want because it's magical fantasy. It's mystic wizards and bullshit. Just make it up as you go. That's not how this shit works, though. We know that. We know there's rules. You have to set rules or it's not believable. That's where verisimilitude comes from, to borrow a term from our friend Robert Meyer Burnett. But no, I mean, it's pointless to try and keep doing the same stupid shit over and over again with the same stupid people and expecting a different result. I mean, something's got to change.
I think we're probably going to be heading toward a turning point. I mean, we need.
Well, I think we are. I think this is the first big tide of that. I don't know if Andre, what he feels about that, but I know it's getting late for him there, so he can't talk too well.
I just want to say before I have to tune in that, absolutely. As I said before, things move in a pendulum motion, and right now the pendulum is either in the process of turning or it has already turned, and then it's going to come swinging the other direction. Swing is going to come hard and fast and brutal, and we're starting to see some signs of that already. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it progresses. Absolutely. But yeah, as you mentioned, Tom, it's quite late for me. The name Midnight's Edge was well chosen, given my location in the world.
Do you have some time to get us going on the super chats here? Because I don't have all of them. I only have
yeah, I'll send you.
Okay, that
all
works.
of them.
That
Yeah,
works. Okay,
I'll
we'll
send
do
you
that
all
then.
of them. Yeah, so
Because we
so
do
all
need
the
to get
super chats
these.
will be addressed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll just say that I think
with them.
if Bond turns out to be as big a train wreck as I think it is, then I think we're going to see that pendulum really start to swing hard the other way.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Bond's
think
tracking
Marv.
higher, isn't it?
What
Sorry,
was that?
I was just gonna say, Bond is tracking for a really high, like higher than anticipated opening.
Well, I'm
isn't
sure
it?
it'll do well because I know
Yeah.
a lot of people will show up just because it's Bond and it's the last of the
Daniel Craig
films and all that business. And the normies aren't up to this stuff like we are. Like they're not combing the internet for Bond news like Rob is or anything like that, to where, if one little thing happens, they're for the last thing they know is that Billie Eilish did the Bond song. Before that, they saw the trailer. You know what I mean? they don't keep up in between. So
I think what will be interesting as well is to see how Marvel Phase 4 pans out, because it's pretty much every movie in the lineup is a certain degree of woke. And if that tracks, or if it performs way lower than Phase 3, then that is your benchmark right there, because until this point, the MCU has been practically unstoppable.
Yeah, the MCU hasn't had a real failure yet.
there is that possibility. But we also can't count out we got the Fantastic Four on the horizon. We've got X-Men on the horizon. So I mean, there's all these things.
But that's all Phase 5, and there's like the thing though.
I know.
The cool things, they're in Phase 5.
Well, whatever damage that is done in Phase 4, probably it could be easily corrected in Phase 5. That's the thing.
Well, then we also have, if Sam Raimi really, if that's confirmed, I don't know, but I mean, we definitely, if that's the case with him.
I was hearing they were already filming on Doctor Strange, like they were, or at least that's what I think somebody indicated, that because Sam Raimi had to go and rush off and start filming.
Yeah, but I don't know if they ever confirmed.
No, it's not filming yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not confirmed. He was only in talks. He's
Yeah.
not yet confirmed. At least he's not confirmed to us. And the movie is set to start filming in a few months, but it's not filming yet.
Okay.
All right. Well, Andre, I know you said you had to get going. Did anybody else had to break out of here before we start running through these super chats? The audience has been so patient waiting for them.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in the same time zone as Andre, so I'll probably drop off as well.
All right.
Cool
well,
with
thank you
guys.
so much, sir. We appreciate you joining us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Drinker. And
No problem.
Also, everyone, thanks for having me, so to speak. And stick around for the other guys who will be addressing all the super chats. Thanks.
That's right.
And, bye.
Take care, guys. And we still may have a few more people pop in, so don't everybody go running off thinking you don't know. You never know. Let's start with these super chats here, Rob. I've got them in front of me. The first one I got here is $5 from Garbo versus the VS. Hey guys, been a fan since the Spider-Man cinematic trilogy in 2016. You're right. Being a true writer-artist is exploring new territory to talk about. Very true. I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know if these might be coming in backwards, so I apologize if they are. But this is the way Andre sent them to me. So, Few High Dinosaurs says, I don't know if this is a super chat. He just has this here. Minority representation to its extreme. Also, how do you all feel about Disney supporting inclusion with their new strong white male CEO? Well, that's what we're saying. And none of these people had problems taking their paycheck from a white man before that either. So, take that as you will. Did you guys have anything to add to that?
Not really.
Okay. $5 from Nightwish Fan, 1991. So I wonder if there is one conversation in that writer, one conservative, sorry, not conversation, one conservative in that writer's room. If they are, they aren't telling anybody. That's for sure. That I do know.
Like, liberal conservative shouldn't come into it. It really shouldn't.
It shouldn't matter what
It
you're.
shouldn't matter. The focus, you have a job to do, and that's telling a good story.
And to be fair, it does come from both sides of the aisle, so it's not.
I mean, listen,
one or the other, but
yeah, listen. I lean left. I don't care if who votes for who or whatever. Just hey,
keep politics out of it.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
keeping
whole point.
if you ask me my opinion, I'll try to give you as articulate opinion as I can. But if, like I said, I'm going to keep my this is not the arena for it.
Right. We go to see fantasy movies for fantasy, and if you want to throw a little bit of thoughtful, social commentary in there, fine, but don't preach to me.
It's called escapism for a reason.
All right, $5. Nikki D says that checklist explains why Disney Star Wars feels so artificially manufactured. There's no single vision or heart. Exactly. Yeah. It's just a bunch of random shit on a board. It doesn't, I mean, I get it. We don't have the context, but
it's like Poochie.
And I think this is 75 rubles. RUB. Is that rubles?
Yeah, I think you're right. Rubles.
Vitality Goose. Great job indeed. That was it. Okay. Well, thank you. Let's see here. Canadian $5, Rob. The DCV Titan. I love how they can at least admit feelings are fiction. Also, Star Wars Wish University. Why the fuck do I want Star Wars Mean Girls? No shit. I don't know if that's what they meant by that. I strongly question that.
I think they mean universality.
That's like a universality to it, so it appeals to everyone, is I think what they were trying to shoot for there. Another $5 from Nikki D. When the brainstorming process has devolved to a checklist, you've got major creative problems. Never place social politics over the storytelling. Yeah, it's just what we were saying. I don't care what your politics are. Just tell me a good story. That's just it. We don't go around preaching our politics, and I mean, there's a lot of people who assume our politics, but I'll tell you right now, they're probably wrong. But anyway, $3.49 New Zealand from R-Far Feelings. I hope I did that with enough feeling for you, R-Far. And thank you so much for that.
Whoa.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Jeez. $2 from Wintrell. All those movies will cause woke damage. Yeah. Maybe Bob does know when to get when the getting's good. Who knows? But he was one of those who was pushing for a lot of that kind of stuff. If you read his book, he's the one who takes the most responsibility for Captain Marvel's success and inclusion in the Marvel universe. So, $5 from Carson Carolina. Jesus, I can't read today, Rob. You should be reading these. Toxic fans bully poor CEO out of job. Someone will say this.
That's tomorrow's article.
You guys just couldn't let it happen. Yeah, whatever. Thank you so much for that one. $4.99, the unrelenting one says, my sources tell me KK is taking over. Those sources are me. I hope you don't mean ME as in Midnight's Edge. Yeah, I hope KK wouldn't be taking over. What's funny is I think we did say in one of our videos, didn't we, Rob, that Chapek was one of the possibilities to take over for Eisner? Iger. Oh, my God, I just said Eisner.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I can't wait for the Mary Sue to come in with there. Disney chose another straight white man to lead the company.
Oh, shut up.
Damn sex bots.
You know it's coming though. Phrasing. It's any minute now. Any freaking minute now. So
no, you gotta wait about a week because their cycle hasn't hit yet.
Oh Jesus.
They all gotta sync up.
Yep.
Oh, God, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this.
I know you don't, but it's true. They get bitchier.
Get it right. You got your music thing up, Rob, at all?
No, I don't actually. Do you want to turn it on?
Well, if you don't have it on, don't worry. But I feel bad because we got $9.99 from our good friend Mexican Iron Man. Good enough. Wasn't Iger hailed as the non-creative CEO, but now as exec chair, he's going to go work on creative stuff for 18 months? Huh? Duh, really? Maybe he's going to go line up Marvel, Lucas, etc., etc. Maybe it could be. I did kind of think of that, but I didn't really get to posit that in the conversation where it's like, well, maybe he's going to go take a little bit of responsibility and get on the ground and do some cleanup work, but I doubt it. I think this is more or less him just saying, yeah, I'm quitting while the quitting's good. We've had a record year. Trying to leave on a high note with the Rise of Skywalker, but he didn't plan on that being as big of a disappointment as it was. But between just the year they've had in general, I think he knew it was time, and this gives him the extra time now to pan out his presidential run. I think that's the case. And then oddly enough, our next super chat from Vince Hickey from Australia, $2.99, is Bob beginning his run for president now? I think we pretty much beat that one to death, but yeah, I think that's the case.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see, but
do you think Bob is taking a look at what's happening to Bloomberg? How Bloomberg is just pretty much going down in flames and saying, "Oh my wait, I have to get in there."
Honestly, yeah. The weird thing is if this would have happened maybe a couple months ago, I'd have been like, that motherfucker's going to get ready to jump in now. But no, he's got to have time, and that's why I think he's going to take the next year to back away from being CEO to start ramping that all up.
I just, like I said, I don't like talking politics here, but it's too late for Iger to run for president. I don't think the country is going to tolerate another billionaire CEO.
Maybe not. I don't know either. That's going to be.
We're gonna have to wait and see, but I don't. Yeah. I just think there's a shift. If Iger wants, the only reason why Iger wants to run for president is his ego. I think he probably thinks that's the only challenge left for him. He probably thinks, it's not out of some altruistic motivation to improve the country, to improve the lives of everybody else. No. The only reason why Iger wants to run for president is ego. If he wants to serve, if he wants to run for office, great. Let him run for mayor. Let him run for mayor of Palm Springs or Carmel, California, or wherever the fuck he wants to run for mayor of. Let him do some
governor.
Or even governor of California or Utah or wherever.
California.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to get his feet wet, because I'll tell you this much: running a country, a government, and a corporation are not the same thing. There's this idea that business people will be effective leaders in government. A government is it provides goods and provides services for its citizens. A corporation is there to make a profit for its shareholders. The two don't mesh. The two ideologies don't mesh well together. Right. There is no profit motive in an interstate highway system.
Well, the point is, yeah, the only reason the politics are getting involved now is just because of, we all know Iger's aspirations, and that's the main thing. $2 from the John Beck. Upcoming news had better not be Kennedy next CEO. No, gladly, it's not. It's Bob Chapek. Take that as you will. I don't know if it's better or worse, but hey, we'll have to wait and see on that. $5 from Nightwish Fan 1991. Do I think there was supposed to be a High Republic movie announced as well, but because it was attached to D&D, so it got canceled at the 11th hour? That's plausible. There's still movies in the pipeline that have technically been announced that we don't know a damn thing about them, really.
Outside of Kevin Feige one.
I think
that could very well be.
I think this Dillard movie, this guy, what's JJ Dillard or whatever the heck his name is? I think
JD Dillard, yeah.
I think that's going to be a High Republic movie.
Could be. Australian $5 from our good friend Sister Harrow. Fun times ahead. Effective immediately. I think that these are backwards. Yeah, like I said. $5 from Matt G. Jeremy has time for Midnight's Edge, but not the High Council. I'm sorry.
I saw him.
I missed that one. Sorry.
I saw him. He had Super Mario Brothers on the screen in the back.
$2 from Josiah Clinch. Good more heads. Bye bye. Well, that's where change begins. That's right. From the head up, the head down. I mean, $5 $5. Nightwish fan 1991. Thank you again so much. Do you think the next Bob is a permanent CEO or just a temporary one until they find another? That's a good question. Because notoriously, Rob, he's got a point there. A lot of these companies, sometimes when you have a big shift after a long reigning CEO or whatever, and somebody else comes in, it's kind of the rebound relationship situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, it's like I said, it's a Iger's a dumbass. Yeah, no, Iger, he's a smart man, but I think
Iger's smart. But I mean,
but he'll be in over his head if he tries to run for office.
I mean, I've read his book. He's not dumb. He's definitely not dumb.
But what does he know about foreign policy? What does he know about foreign trade?
He made sure that we knew that he has a lot of foreign relations, because that whole book that's all. Fucking book starts out he's in China.
Yeah. Well, we all see how well that went with Star Wars.
They cut out all the gay kissing.
No, the very first chapter of the book is setting you up to know that he can handle a crisis.
I can handle a crisis. I'm very good
because he's in China, and it happened at the same time that kid got attacked by the alligator. I think in which one's in Florida, Disney World or Disney World? Yeah. Disney World.
That young man was almost eaten by an alligator, so I had to rush.
No, he
back
was
to
ate by
China.
an alligator, actually.
Oh, he was. Oh my word! Send some flowers to his parents.
I hopefully we didn't miss any more in between here, but we got some more super chats since then. I hopefully didn't miss any more. William K. Savage sent us $5. It doesn't matter who's in charge as long as women have a say. Wokeness is inevitable. That's not necessarily true. There's lots of women who don't agree with those kind of politics. There's even women who are on the left who don't agree with those kind of politics. To generalize and get mutually exclusive is really kind of doing the same thing that a lot of them do when they say, "Oh, white man bad," kind of thing. And I'm not trying to like say I'm pissy or anything for saying that, William K. But no, I get it. You're probably being facetious and making a little bit of a joke, but no, I think that's a little short-sighted, especially when we got somebody like Mecca right below us who obviously goes against that narrative, which maybe what you're trying to do is being tongue-in-cheek to a point too, but. Yeah.
But clearly, I'm just rebellious, and I'm just doing what everybody tells me to do, and I'm paid to troll. What are the other things they say about me? I'm as internalized misogyny.
Chicken nugget.
I don't know.
Josiah Ralph Frey sent us $4.99. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you're right, but this might also mean they're gonna double down on wokeness, considering that Favre, however you say his name. Favreau. I think he's thinking of Brett Favre and screwed up. That's all right. That or an autocorrect is saying about the next MCU movies. I hope so too. I hope Feige is not dumb. And I think that's who you're trying to say is Feige. Yeah. And I'm trying to get the sex box guys. I know they're all over the place. They're getting worse and worse.
Working on the sex farm.
Let's see what's the next super chat here. Another one from William K. Savage. Thank you so much. $2. Stories are almost always political. That's not necessarily true either. They don't always have to be. But even if they are political, and look at like the Orville. You can have political social commentary, but you leave it open-ended. You don't preach to the audience. You don't tell them what the answer should be or how they should think. That's the thing is. That's, I think, the biggest sin of the whole woke culture thing is, forcing others to try and think the way you do just because you think they're wrong. No, I'm not saying there isn't such a thing as like, obviously being racist or clearly sexist, but none of us are. And that's why we keep trying to fight this narrative that's all this, movement is on the internet and stuff like that is a bunch of racist, sexist pigs when it's not the case.
Well, what's wrong with being sexy?
No, not sexy, sexist.
Oh, sexist. Sexist.
It'd be different if she was the one making him smell the glove then.
Oh, yeah. Such a fine line.
Then he'd be the victim.
Such a fine line between being clever and stupid.
That's right.
We need to get that clip.
I know, right? It's the fine line between being clever and stupid. That's the whole epitome of our show here. Or like Midnight's Edge After Dark. Check us out on there if you like what we're doing. Fluffy Panda sent us $2. They get these writers from Doctor Who getting deja vu. Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
There's another example of the... William, you know, the whole thing. William K. Savage sent us $2. Robot, piss off, you Bernie bro.
Oh, right. Oh, right. I'll do you for that one. You watch. Come here.
Zach Tomko sent us $2. Will there be a High Republic movie when?
As soon as we can get Brie to star in it, as soon as we can convince her.
No, I'd rather see High Republic with Cheech and Chong. But anyway,
that's a whole other high.
Hey, whoa, stick up, man! I got the new space grass.
Human soundboard.
Smoke weed every day.
That stuff will give you rabies, man.
Oh no, man! I ain't got no rabies, man. I tell you, this is the good stuff, man.
Space rabies.
So space rabies. How you get the space rabies anyway? You got
suck it on space grass, man.
Nah, man, you get that from the rabid space dog, man.
Oh. William K. Savage sent us another $2. LGBT groups are already suing Hollywood to cater. They can try. There's a difference between being discriminated against and representation, and then just what do we like to call it? Tokenism and
it's tokenism. You're hiding behind the color of somebody's skin to avoid being criticized.
There's that. And then there's just the aspects of, you know, it gives anybody else who is not in that think mindset, you know, it makes them scared to speak out. So in essence, that's the thing, is a lot of these movements do the exact opposite of what they're trying to do, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, instead of equality, they're designed to get back at and take shots at and oppress men, especially white men, because white men did bad things in the past. Yeah, we don't disagree with that, you know, and we also don't disagree that, you know, we agree with you. People can be diverse, and, you know, we don't have any problem, and we like seeing people of all walks of life on screen. This is why we like science fiction, because it even goes beyond the petty, you know, different shades of skin stuff, and you have people with tentacles sticking out of the top of their heads. You know, that's diversity for you. We've kind of gone beyond this, so to regress into this whole mindset where we're still just focusing on what makes us different instead of what makes us all, you know, the same, because, well, on the inside we all bleed the same, we all look the same on the inside, we all have the same heart for the most part, you know,
we're all pink inside.
On nuts and berries and other bits and pots work the same usually.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, William K. Savage sent another one. Lobby groups have all the power, guys, and that's true. And you know what? Customers are kind of like a lobby group in a way too, because as Mecca says with her T-shirt, movies aren't mandatory. And the thing is a lot of people that they're trying to cater to right now, I think that Hollywood is starting to learn that it's not gonna make them any money. The Twitterati does not go to the movies. Hipsters don't go to see Ghostbusters 2016.
Nope.
You know, the Raylos, a few of them went to see Star Wars: The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, but
and then they hated it. Yeah,
then they hated it, and nobody else went. And even the normies started turning against it. So it's just, yeah.
Just remember that in that footage from the theater, I effing hate Star Wars. I hate Star Wars. There you go.
Equality is not real. Science proves egalitarianism is false. It denies reality. Well, we're not talking about equality. Like, everybody knows that everybody's different. That's not the point. Point is, we sit up here, we get accused of not wanting women in our movies, which is bullshit. We just don't want shit like Mikey, Spock, and Ray. You know, we want women who actually are real women, like Sarah Connor and Ripley and all these classic women heroes.
Ivanova.
Yeah, and then look at the simple fact that it took how many years for Wonder Woman to get made, and that movie was a hit. And several men went to go see it. But we don't get credit for that. Oh, no. We just get blamed for Birds of Prey flopping.
Even though more men saw that. So you don't even have that narrative. And, you know, a lot of us get on here and we yell and scream and we pretty much throw temper tantrums about these movie franchises because we're sick to death of being insulted and taken advantage of. And I'm tired of running back to the abusive spouse who's just going to keep slapping me in the face, you know, because that's what it is. Every time you see this, and it's a lot of it's the media, but you know what? The studios aren't doing anything to stop it now, are they? where we're just getting called toxic, troll, this and that, and yeah, keep calling me names. See how much pussy you're gonna get if you keep calling me names. That's the thing that they don't.
What's funny is, and this is probably a perfect button to this, I just read a story or whatever about a feminist who was pissed off because men reject her.
You hate that, bitch.
It's part of life, motherfucker.
She wanted equality. She wanted it to be the other way around. Well, she didn't stop to realize that, and like most of these women are now, and other people who are in this movement of what I call modern feminism, because it's not true feminism. It's not
the third
equality. Yeah, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Third wave feminism.
Basically, what it's doing is putting women in the position where now they're the ones who have no control in a relationship. They don't get to choose. It used to be, they didn't stop to think that, the way it was before is you get a bunch of bumbling men as suitors to line up and say, I won't date you. And then you eventually get to pick one. But that's not how it works anymore. That's not how it works anymore. Now you, on the other hand, are the one asking men out because they don't want to ask you out anymore because you've gotten men so fucking scared shitless that if you actually just ask somebody out or say, hey, your hair looks nice, next thing you know, they're going to get slapped with a Me Too suit, that they don't ask women out anymore. So women now are put in the position to ask men out, and they're getting rejected. Women aren't used to that. As the Chris Rock, bit goes, women are used to getting offered dick 20,000 times a day.
And I'm tired of these women giving women a bad name too, because okay, ladies, you're making it hard for the rest of us. You're making it so that we have to work. You're making it so that we have to do all these things. And they get so resentful. Did you see they were attacking an Australian housewife that time too? Not too long ago, because she chose and had the luxury of staying home, raising her children, and having a single income family. These stupid women don't understand that they're making it worse for everybody. Just their hate, because they shame women too. You feel like you have to, even if your spouse makes enough, you feel like you have to.
The sad part is the root of it is green jealousy in the end.
Yep. Because women are catty. Women can be real bitches. Women can be giant toddlers when we don't get our way. We know this. And a lot of women won't admit it because a lot of women are still in that giant toddler stage. But no, we can be absolutely ruthless. And we can be very conniving, and we can do things knowing that we can play the victim later. And that's the quartering calls out a lot of girls for that. The professional victims, the cry bullies, the people like Dana Schwartz. You don't think she doesn't know exactly what she's doing, because she did the same thing with Daddy. She cried and manipulated, and look what it did with the press. Now she got her little Washington Post article.
Yeah. And Zach Tomko sends us another $5. Thank you so much. Do you think they will release Knights of the Old Republic game for Xbox One to get people invested in Star Wars? I'm sure that this, I don't know about Knights of the Old Republic, but this High Republic thing I think is supposed to, I don't know if it's going to replace the Old Republic, but I think it's a substitute in a way. And yeah, I don't know. That I'm sure there'll be something involved with it, because they're gonna, I don't know if it'll be the Old Republic, though. It'll probably be High Republic, because they meant to make this big announcement yesterday for a reason. There's something to this more than just a couple of books, because there's nothing that, unless they really know they've got nothing to go with on Star Wars, that this is literally what we've got to look forward to the next few years. Because
they have to have a film. They have to be having something in the works
besides Mandalorian season 2, because that's the only thing we know for sure that's coming, because everything else has been pushed back.
Well, we had some casting for that go under the radar. They're casting another WWE woman.
Yeah, but that's Mandalorian. We already know that's going on. That's that's coming.
But that's not even that big of news. It's just, they've got to have something. And remember how last year they kept sprinkling Brie Larson as Ahsoka, Brie Larson Star Wars, Brie Larson. Did somebody say Star Wars? I wonder if last October she didn't go and meet with Kevin Feige about playing this character in the High Republic, possibly. Because, anytime we hear about something, it's already a done deal pretty much. Almost. Well, 75% of the time.
Usually, yes.
So I'm thinking they're going to drop something big.
Oh, yeah. And then Andre says, this is being dropped in the middle of the week for a reason. There's something. We're going to hear something this week. Who knows? Mm-hmm. William K. Savage sent us another $5. If some politicians decide to tell Hollywood to cater to wokeness, then they have no choice. I don't want to get into like the deep shit on that. Again, you got to look at the box office. Hollywood only cares so long as it's making money. They have got to have learned by now that going woke is tantamount to going broke. The investors are not going to give a shit anymore. They don't care. They're going to say, fuck that crap. Just give the people what they want. So, and High Republic is only 200 years before Phantom Menace. I didn't know that. See, that's about how I give a shit about High Republic stuff right now. I didn't even get a chance to really look at it, and then all this other shit drops. So, like, and I don't care about books. Rob and I, famously, the one thing we hate the most.
That's
homework,
DLC. That's
homework,
DLC.
DLC. Shit we don't want to have to deal with. If it's not in the movie or in the show, then it doesn't count. I don't care.
Not saying that we don't, not saying that we wouldn't enjoy a good Star Wars book, but if you're just trying, if this is just to justify everything that's happened with this is the add-on DLC for all of the for KK Star Wars, for Disney.
It's extortion. It's like charges. We'll charge you extra if you want the whole story.
Yeah. Pay to win.
Yeah.
Bait and switch. Oh, you promised me the end of the Skywalker saga, and now you're admitting that it wasn't. So can we sue them? Can we get a class action lawsuit?
Okay, I get where you're going, William K. Savage, and I think your conversation is possibly for a different podcast. We appreciate the super chats, but we try to avoid getting into too many political rabbit holes here. Again, we stand by that as long as people don't go to these movies like Terminator Dark Fate and Charlie's Angels and Birds of Prey, and they do go to movies like, Sonic. The only reason Sonic's put up against Birds of Prey is because they did it themselves, the people that are toting that. But other than that, like later this year, Ghostbusters, stuff like that. And movies that actually are going against the grain. And because they're in no normal world like what you're trying to posit, would we get Ghostbusters Afterlife? We would be getting Ghostbusters Answer the Call 2. That's, you know what I mean? I mean, for me to believe what you're getting at there, and I get where you're coming from, man, and I'm not trying to stifle you or saying you're wrong or anything like that. You're obviously more than, welcome to your own opinion. But this is just not the show for it. And I think, the big issue, it's not the woke even halftime. It's just the bad writing, because nobody gives a shit about the diversity. As I was saying before, we don't care if it's a female lead. We don't care if it's a black person or if it's an Asian person, if it's a white person or not.
Ghostbusters here. Ghostbusters Afterlife is a perfect example of that. And just Ghostbusters in general. The day that the trailer dropped, we already had article writers saying, it's your fault we got this. And well, what do we have in Ghostbusters? It is diverse. It has female lead characters. It is pretty much universally liked, at least if not loved by a lot of us who hated Ghostbusters 2016. And so what is their problem? We don't mind things. If we hated diversity, we wouldn't have watched Star Wars. If we hated diversity, we wouldn't have been watching Star Trek in the first place.
X-Men,
yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is I think Disney's overlooking this thing, and I can't believe Feige's that stupid, but if you're somebody who's really that hung up on getting diversity into the MCU, what better place to start than the fucking X-Men? It's the most diverse comic book series in the world, probably. It has been for, going on almost, 40, 50 years now, almost?
Practically almost 45 years, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, the Script Doctor, how you doing? We're just finishing up here, but do join. I know I'll be there, and I think Mecca's going to be there. I don't know where Rob's got going on yet, but we've got a pretty full panel, I know, going on the High Council tonight over on World.
Coming back tonight, looks like.
Is he? And I think Cecil's going to be there too.
I'm playing trivia tonight, actually. So
join Mecca and I and the rest of the gang over there on High Council, and wish Rob some luck on trivia. And until then, folks, you got some music for me, Rob, or you're not set up?
No, I'm still not set.
All right, well, we won't worry about that. We want to thank everybody for joining us. This went a little bit longer than we planned on, but hopefully I didn't miss it. It's fine, Rob. Just let it go. But I hope I didn't miss anybody's super chats. If we did, hopefully we'll make up for them at another point in time. Again, thanks for joining us here on Midnight's Edge. I do want to thank Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Check out their channel, and Critical Drinker, of course, check out his channel. Mecha Random, check out her channel. And Script Doctor in the chat, all our good friends out there in YouTube land. Thank you so much for joining us on this special report from Midnight's Edge.